What if I told you that there's a reason why some people can manifest a parking space instantly, while others struggle for years to manifest elemental abundance? What if the difference isn't luck, belief, or even spiritual development, but knowledge of 7 specific principles the ancient Egyptian mystery schools guarded as their most sacred secrets? In the next 30 minutes, I will reveal the exact Hermetic principles that allowed ancient priests to manifest gold from thin air, heal the sick with a touch, and bend reality to their will. These aren't metaphorical teachings or feel-good philosophy. These are precise laws of consciousness that operate with mathematical certainty. By the end of this video, you'll understand why modern manifestation techniques take so long to work, how to collapse the time between desire and fulfillment to mere moments, and why the ancients said that mastering these 7 principles makes you a god among mortals. This is the knowledge that built the pyramids, that Tesla studied in his final years, and that quantum physicists are now proving with their most advanced experiments. Are you ready to step into the same power that the greatest masters of history wielded? The hidden science behind instant manifestation. Before diving into the 7 principles, you need to understand why instant manifestation is possible and natural. The reason most people experience delays between desire and fulfillment isn't because the universe needs time to arrange circumstances. It's because they're unknowingly violating the fundamental laws that govern reality creation. The ancient Hermetic Masters understood something modern science is just beginning to grasp. Time is not linear, reality is not fixed, and consciousness is not separate from the physical world. Manifestation is the natural result of consciousness operating according to its inherent laws. When you correctly understand and apply these 7 principles, manifestation becomes as instant and reliable as flipping a light switch. The delay disappears because you're no longer working against natural law. You're working with it. The Hermetic tradition originated in ancient Egypt and was later preserved in texts like the Emerald Tablet and the Kybalion, representing humanity's most sophisticated understanding of how consciousness creates reality. These weren't philosophical concepts. They were practical technologies for reality manipulation. Every great master throughout history, from Jesus to Buddha to Tesla, understood and applied these principles. The difference between ordinary people and extraordinary manifestors isn't talent or luck. It's knowledge and application of these 7 fundamental laws. The principle of mentalism. The first and most fundamental principle states, the all is mind, the universe is mental. This isn't poetic language. It's a precise description of the nature of reality itself. Everything you perceive as physical matter is crystallized thought. What you call your body, environment, and circumstances all exist first as mental energy before they appear in bodily form. When you truly understand this principle, you realize that changing your mental state instantly changes your reality. Most people manifest by thinking positively while maintaining the same fundamental mental patterns. This is like trying to change a movie by polishing the screen instead of changing the film. The principle of mentalism teaches you to work with the projector of consciousness itself. To apply this principle for instant manifestation, you must recognize that your desired outcome is a mental pattern in universal consciousness. Your job isn't to create it. It's to align your mind with the universal mind that contains all possibilities. The ancient technique for this alignment involves what the Hermetics called mental transmutation. Instead of trying to change external circumstances, you change the mental frequency you're broadcasting. When your mental state perfectly matches the cognitive pattern of your desired reality, manifestation becomes instantaneous. This is why Jesus said, "It is done unto you as you believe." In the Hermetic sense, belief isn't hoping something might happen. It's the mental state of someone who knows something has already happened. When you achieve this mental state, reality has no choice but to conform to your consciousness. The principle of correspondence. The second principle reveals the fractal nature of reality. As above, so below. As below, so above. This principle is the key to understanding why small changes in consciousness can create massive changes in physical reality. Your consciousness is a perfect microcosm of universal consciousness. The cosmos's patterns are identical to those that govern your reality. Changing a pattern at the microcosmic level of your consciousness automatically changes the corresponding pattern at the macrocosmic level of your experience. This is why ancient masters could heal others by healing themselves, why changing your inner state instantly changes your outer circumstances, and why personal transformation is the most potent form of world transformation. For instant manifestation, the principle of correspondence means you don't need to manipulate external circumstances. You only need to create the corresponding internal pattern. External reality will automatically reorganize itself to match. The practical application involves what the Hermetics called pattern recognition and replication. First, you identify the internal pattern that corresponds to your desired external reality. Then, you replicate that pattern in your consciousness with perfect precision. For example, if you want to manifest wealth, you don't focus on money itself. You focus on the consciousness pattern of someone who naturally has wealth. What does abundance feel like in the body? How does a wealthy person think about resources? What emotional signature does financial security carry? When you perfectly replicate this internal pattern, the external manifestation becomes inevitable. The universe must reflect your internal state because of the law of correspondence. As within, so without. The principle of vibration. The third principle states, nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. This principle reveals that all manifestations match frequency. Every thought, emotion, desire, and physical object exists as a specific vibrational frequency. Manifestation occurs when your frequency perfectly matches the frequency of what you want to experience. Most manifestations take time because people gradually shift their frequency rather than making an instant vibrational leap. Ancient Hermetic Masters developed techniques for instant frequency shifting. They understood that consciousness can change its vibrational rate as quickly as you can change your attention. When you master vibrational control, you can manifest anything instantly by simply tuning to its frequency. The key insight is that your vibrational frequency is determined not by your circumstances, but by your consciousness. You can be surrounded by poverty and vibrate at the frequency of wealth. You can be alone and vibrate at the frequency of love. You can be sick and vibrate at the frequency of perfect health. The ancient technique for instant vibrational shifting involves what they called harmonic resonance. Just as a tuning fork can cause another tuning fork to vibrate at the same frequency, you can use your consciousness to resonate with any desired frequency. To practice this, first identify the vibrational signature of your desired manifestation. This isn't just an emotional feeling, it's a complete energetic pattern that includes physical sensations, mental qualities, and spiritual resonance. Then, instead of gradually building up to this frequency, make an instant vibrational leap. This requires complete commitment and the willingness to abandon your current vibrational state entirely. Most people fail at instant manifestation because they try to add the new frequency to their existing frequency rather than completely replacing it. When you achieve perfect vibrational alignment with your desire, manifestation happens instantly because you've become an energetic match for what you want to experience. The principle of polarity. The fourth principle reveals that everything is dual. Everything has poles. Everything has its pair of opposites. This principle is crucial for instant manifestation because it shows you how to transmute any unwanted condition into its opposite. Most people get stuck in manifestation because they try eliminating unwanted conditions rather than transmuting them. The principle of polarity teaches that you can't destroy energy. You can only transform it from one pole to its opposite. Fear and courage are the same energy vibrating at different frequencies. Poverty and wealth are opposite poles of the same abundant spectrum. Sickness and health are other expressions of the same life force energy. When you understand this principle, you realize that every unwanted condition in your life contains the energy needed to create its opposite. Instead of fighting against what you don't want, you transmute it into what you want. The ancient technique for this transmutation is called polar reversal. Instead of trying to eliminate fear, you reverse its polarity to become courage. Instead of removing lack, you flip its polarity to create abundance. This process is instantaneous because you're not creating new energy. You're simply reversing the polarity of existing energy. It's like flipping a switch that changes the direction of an electrical current. To apply polar reversal, first identify the unwanted condition you're experiencing. Then, recognize that this condition contains the energy needed for its opposite. Finally, use your will to reverse the polarity of this energy, transforming the unwanted condition into its desired opposite. This is why the greatest masters often came from the most challenging circumstances. They learned to use the energy of their difficulties as fuel for their most significant achievements. The principle of rhythm. The fifth principle states, everything flows out and in. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. This principle reveals the secret of perfect timing and manifestation. Most people experience delays in manifestation because they're working against natural rhythms rather than with them. The universe operates in cycles, and there are optimal moments for manifestation when the cosmic tides support your intentions. Ancient masters became experts at reading these rhythms and timing their manifestations to coincide with supportive cosmic cycles. They understood that the same intention could manifest instantly during a supportive rhythm, or take months during a resistant rhythm. The key insight is that you don't need to create rhythm. You must align with existing rhythms. The universe is constantly pulsing with creative cycles, and when you synchronize your manifestation efforts with these cycles, your results become effortless and instantaneous. The practical application involves what the Hermetics called rhythmic attunement. First, you learn to sense the natural rhythms in your life and the cosmos. Then, you time your manifestation work to coincide with the most supportive phases of these rhythms. This includes daily rhythms, lunar cycles, seasonal changes, and even the rhythm of your energy levels throughout the day. When you work with these rhythms instead of against them, manifestation becomes as natural as breathing. The most powerful manifestation rhythm is what the ancients called the 0 point, the moment between the in-breath and the out-breath of cosmic cycles. In this moment of perfect stillness, the universe is most receptive to new patterns of creation. The principle of cause and effect. The sixth principle declares, every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. This principle is the foundation of instant manifestation because it reveals that you can become the conscious cause of any desired effect. Most people experience themselves as effects, victims of circumstances, genetics, past experiences, or external conditions. The principle of cause and effect teaches you to step into the position of cause, becoming the conscious creator of your experience, rather than the unconscious reactor to it. When you truly understand this principle, you realize that every condition in your life exists because you are somehow causing it through your consciousness. This isn't blame, it's empowerment. If you're causing your current reality, you can cause a different reality just as easily. The ancient technique for becoming a cause is called causal assumption. Instead of trying to change effects, you assume the consciousness of someone who naturally causes the desired impact. If you want to manifest wealth, you don't focus on money. You assume the consciousness of someone who naturally causes wealth to appear in their life. If you want perfect health, you take the consciousness of someone who naturally causes their body to be healthy. This shift from effect consciousness to cause consciousness is instantaneous, and manifestation becomes immediate when you make this shift completely. You're no longer trying to change what is. You're causing what will be. The key is to identify the specific type of consciousness that naturally causes your desired outcome, and then assume that consciousness completely. This isn't pretending or positive thinking. It's a fundamental shift in your identity and relationship to reality. The principle of gender. The seventh and final principle states, gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. This principle reveals the secret of manifestation acceleration through the proper balance of masculine and feminine energies. The masculine principle is the force of will, intention, and focused direction. The feminine principle is the force of receptivity, intuition, and creative flow. Instant manifestation requires the perfect balance and cooperation of both principles. Most people are either too masculine in their approach, trying to force manifestation through will alone, or too feminine, waiting passively for things to happen. The ancient masters understood that manifestation is a dance between masculine intention and feminine receptivity. The masculine principle initiates the manifestation by setting clear intentions and maintaining unwavering focus. The feminine principle receives the manifestation by creating space, remaining open, and allowing the creative process to unfold. When these two principles work in perfect harmony, manifestation becomes instantaneous because you're using the complete creative power of consciousness rather than just half of it. The practical application involves what the Hermetics called sacred marriage, the conscious union of your inner masculine and feminine energies for creation. First, engage your masculine principle by setting crystal clear intentions for what you want to manifest. Be specific, decisive, and wholly committed. This is the moment of cosmic conception. Then, immediately shift into your feminine principle by releasing all effort and becoming entirely receptive to how the manifestation will unfold. Trust the process, open to unexpected pathways, and allow the creative force to work through you. This alternation between masculine intention and feminine receptivity creates a powerful creative rhythm that accelerates manifestation beyond usual time constraints. Applying all 7 principles simultaneously. Now that you understand each principle, the real power comes from applying all 7 simultaneously. This is what the ancient masters called the great work the conscious application of all Hermetic principles for instant reality creation. The integration protocol involves a specific sequence that engages each principle in the optimal order for maximum manifestation power. Phase 1. Mental alignment. Begin by applying the principle of mentalism. Recognize that your desired outcome is a mental pattern in universal consciousness. Align your mind with this universal pattern through complete mental acceptance of your manifestation as already accomplished. Phase 2. Correspondence activation. Apply the principle of correspondence by creating the internal pattern corresponding to your desired external reality. Feel what it feels like to already have what you desire in your body. Think of the thoughts of someone who naturally possesses what you want. Phase 3. Vibrational matching. Use the principle of vibration to shift your frequency to match your desired outcome instantly. This isn't gradual. It's an immediate vibrational leap into the frequency of your manifestation. Phase 4. Polarity transmutation. Apply the principle of polarity to transmute any resistance or unwanted conditions into their opposite. Use the energy of doubt to fuel certainty, the energy of lack to create abundance, and the energy of fear to generate excitement. Phase 5. Rhythmic timing. Engage the principle of rhythm by choosing the optimal moment for your manifestation work. This might be during a specific lunar phase, time of day, or personal energy cycle, when the cosmic tides support your intention. Phase 6. Causal assumption. Apply the principle of cause and effect by assuming the consciousness of someone who naturally causes your desired outcome. Step completely out of effect consciousness and into cause consciousness. Phase 7. Gender balance. Finally, engage the principle of gender by balancing masculine intention with feminine receptivity. Set your intention with unwavering focus, then release into complete trust and openness. When all 7 principles are applied simultaneously with precision and commitment, manifestation becomes instantaneous because you're working with the complete power of consciousness rather than fragments of it. The spiritual responsibility of instant manifestation. Before you begin applying these principles, you must understand the profound spiritual responsibility that comes with the power of instant manifestation. When you can instantly manifest anything, every thought, intention, and moment of consciousness becomes a creative act. The ancient mystery schools required years of character development before teaching these principles because they understood that power without wisdom is dangerous. When you can instantly manifest your desires, you must be certain that your desires serve not only your highest good, but the highest good of all consciousness. This is why the Hermetic tradition emphasizes the development of wisdom alongside power. The ability to manifest instantly is a natural result of spiritual growth, not a technique to be used for ego gratification. True masters understand that individual fulfillment and universal harmony are not separate goals. They're the same goal expressed at different levels. When you manifest from your highest consciousness, what you create naturally serves the evolution of all life. Your journey into Hermetic mastery. Understanding these 7 principles intellectually is only the beginning. The fundamental transformation comes through dedicated practice and application. The ancient masters spent years perfecting their understanding and application of these laws because they knew that mastery brings personal power and spiritual responsibility. Start with one principle and work with it until you can apply it effortlessly. Then, gradually integrate the other principles until you can work with all 7 simultaneously. This isn't a race. It's a journey of consciousness development, that will transform not just your ability to manifest, but your entire understanding of reality itself. Remember, these principles are not just tools for getting what you want. They're keys to understanding the fundamental nature of existence. When you master them, you don't just become better at manifestation. You become a conscious participant in the ongoing creation of reality itself. The ancient masters knew that those who understand and apply these principles become bridges between the world of ordinary consciousness and the realm of infinite possibility. They become living demonstrations of what's possible when human consciousness aligns with universal law. The question isn't whether these principles work. They work with mathematical precision because they are the laws that govern reality itself. The question is whether you accept the responsibility and power of understanding them. If you're ready to move beyond ordinary manifestation into the realm of instant reality creation and take responsibility for the power these principles will give you, begin your practice today. Start with the principle of mentalism and work through each law until you can apply them all simultaneously. The universe waits for you to remember your true power as a conscious creator. The ancient masters left these principles as a roadmap to your divine nature. The only question remains: are you ready to walk the path they've shown you? If this knowledge resonates with your soul and you feel the call to step into your power as a conscious creator, subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell. We will continue exploring the deepest mysteries of consciousness and reality creation, diving into advanced techniques that the mystery schools taught only to their most dedicated students. Like this video, if it's opened your eyes to the actual science of instant manifestation, share it with anyone ready to move beyond ordinary manifestation into the realm of Hermetic mastery. Together, we're reclaiming the ancient wisdom that can transform not just our lives, but the entire trajectory of human consciousness. The 7 principles are your inheritance as a conscious being. The question is, will you claim your birthright?